Welcome all that are joining us in person today, in person virtually, or joining us later in the recording of this session. This is the December Manufacturers Council meeting, and we're very happy to have a couple of folks from Marion Technical College. We have Mike Augenstein, Director of Workforce Solutions, Kristi Butler, Director of Career Services, and Danielle Smith, Workforce Solutions and Career Services Assistant, all from Marion Technical College. Very happy to have them here to kind of talk about all the things workforce development related that Marion Tech is working on currently and into the future. And I think they'll probably briefly talk about the new facilities and the move to downtown. We're very excited to have them downtown on. I got a thumbs up from Gus, he's excited. Anyway, without further ado, I'm not sure who will be kicking us off from this group, but I'll let them start and we'll just go right into it.
Well, thanks, Matt, and thank you, Manufacturing Council, for having us. It's an honor to present to all of you today. I am Mike Augenstein, Director of Workforce Solutions, and as Matt said, we've also got Kristi Butler, who is the Director of Career Services, and she'll be talking to you here in a little bit. And we have Danielle Smith, who is both my assistant and Kristi Butler's assistant, keeping all of the workforce solutions and career services going, and that is Danielle Smith. And so she'll be speaking later as well. So I'm going to kick things off with an update about Marion Tech Downtown. We are very excited to announce that we will have a satellite branch, an office downtown. We've been approved by the Department of Higher Ed to do 4-credit instruction there, as well as the non-credit instruction that I'm in charge of. And so we're very excited to offer this. It's in the old National City Bank building. We're directly above TRECA and of course right beside the county courthouse. So we're excited. There's several things that are actually going to happen downtown. First of all, I'll mention OPATA, that's the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy. Greg Perry has already transitioned to instructing from our downtown location. So you're going to see a lot of what will appear to be police activity. It's kind of hilarious when they practice their pulling people over. It looks really real because that is the idea behind it. So in the evenings and on Saturday mornings, you might see something that looks like a major takedown, and it's actually them training. So that's kind of, I think, a neat thing for the downtown because it will increase a police presence with them training there. We also have our Aspire program. Those are free classes offered for anyone who wants to kind of move up to next. Generally speaking, it is mostly folks who are going to take the GED test. So it's tutoring to help them get what they need to be able to pass all 4 sections. It's 4 separate tests to get your GED. And, but really anybody, we have several adult students who just enjoy being on campus and taking those classes. We currently offer them at 3 locations. We offer them at Marion Tech, the main campus next to Ohio State University, Marian. And then we also offer them at the Marion Public Library. And we have a location, I believe it's a library in Mount Gilead, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have really a 4th location for those Aspire classes, which is really exciting. That's handy for people to be able to walk. We have a lot of folks that have to use public transit to take advantage of that training. And I know that for Danielle and I think one of the most satisfying parts of our job is that we are the proctors for the GED testing through our Pearson Testing Center. And of course, that is being moved to downtown as well. Pearson Testing is everything from the GEDs to teachers taking OAE tests. We have a lot of nursing students that take various tests. We have an LPN to RN program that we test them on an ATI test to get them into that program. It's actually very competitive to get into our LPN to RN program. And so we actually proctor those tests. And I know that's another one of our great honors, especially during a pandemic, is that we're helping to get folks into nursing as fast as we can and getting them to next as well. And then we're also going to have the Marion Maid program manager at our downtown location. As everyone probably knows, Vicki Branson is retiring at the end of this year. And although we are very sad to see her go, we are excited for what's coming with that position. Vicki was a part-time position. If you didn't know, Marion Maid program manager, Marion Technical College has taken that under our marketing department umbrella. And it was created, of course, with the Marion Community Foundation. And we really appreciate that opportunity to take that to next. And if you can't tell, that's our slogan. It's everywhere. And so that's going to be a full-time position. You're going to see a lot of Marion Maid things going on. Very exciting to have them downtown. Of course, we're all excited to be there because it gets us closer to the heart of the city, obviously. And obviously there's exciting things going on downtown. We're thrilled about all the new restaurants and, you know, the shopping. Several have opened back up. I know that there were a lot of folks that did some remodels during the pandemic. And so there's exciting newness downtown. And we're just thrilled to be a part of that. Lastly, I'll mention that that Workforce Solutions, one of the things that we do is we, again, do non-credit training. So we take the same instructors that we use for our 4-credit classes, and we can custom make short-term training for anyone, everything from manufacturing to IT, any field. And we basically boil down a 16-week class into a couple of weeks and get people exactly what they need to know. We generally work directly with directly with the company itself. So that's typically what we do, but we're also going to offer some classes that anyone can join for non-credit training downtown. We're especially, I think, going to focus on computer skills, leadership skills, things of that nature. Somebody could sign up for an every Friday class. And so that's one of our goals downtown, is to have regular non-credit training going on, not just for companies that want to utilize that, but anyone from the public can join those.
Question, Mike.
I think, yeah.
How does any of that tie in, or does it tie in with the Tech Cred program that's been expanded and will reopen and take new applications January 4th? Is
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that. Absolutely. Yes. I don't know what the number is. I think it's at least a couple hundred certifications that Tech Cred will approve, up to $2,000 per employee. I think it's up to $32,000 for each company. And definitely folks have taken advantage of that. It's gotten even easier, actually, because of the pandemic. They're not forcing you to say this specific person is going to take that training. It can just be, we're going to send someone to that training. And what's awesome is we can custom make a class just for you. We've done that with several manufacturers locally. So yes, thank you for bringing that up. Another thing that just popped into my head is, of course, if you didn't know, the Albert Enterprise Center closed right before this pandemic hit us back in January, I believe. And so we are there to help fill that void. It's, of course, obviously we were saddened to hear about 5 people losing their jobs and being laid off here locally. But we definitely are here to help fill that. And of course, what that is executive leadership training. And we're poised and ready to fill that need. So if anybody would need that, give us a call. Yeah, I think that is pretty much a good amount of information initially on our downtown location. And I think I'm spinning it over to Career Services. So I'll introduce Kristi Butler to you, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what we do for Career Services.
She's first going to unmute. Okay, there we go. So you talked about Get to Next, and I just want to show you how dorky I am. So I bought this hand sanitizer that says Next on it. That way, you know, we're all about Get to Next, even with our hand sanitizer. So I thought that was pretty cute when I saw it out. So I figured I would do that. Now, my question is this. I don't know where everyone is. Well, obviously I know where Danielle and Mike are from, but the others that are on the call, I don't know. I don't know everyone.
Well, again, a lot of folks will be joining us via recording, but we have Don Mount from Wyandotte here, and Gus from Marion Can Do, and Dave, I'm going to mess it up, Dave from Zinski from Ohio Health, downtown, the downtown location, employer services with us today, I believe.
I was really just trying to get someone to, say Dave's last name. So, that's what I'm about. So not to embarrass you, Matt, but I was curious as to how we said that name. So I am Kristi Butler, and I am with Career Services. So a lot of times there is confusion, I think, sometimes with what Career Services does versus Workforce, and that's both internally and externally. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. For Career Services, a lot of times Workforce deals with a lot of the at the outside, the external, vendors that we have, the external partners that we have. Career Services is more of the internal. So we work with a lot of the students, but we also work with a lot of the business partners as well. So what Career Services does is we get those students ready to get to their next, basically. We make sure that they are job ready. We want them to be ready as far as their resumes go. A lot of times they really struggle. Not everyone loves to do a resume, I guess the way probably me and Danielle do. So, we enjoy that. And that's why, that's kind of in our wheelhouse, and I'm grateful that I get to do that. That's one of the more fun parts of my job, is to take out my red pen and just kind of go crazy on somebody's resume. But we want to make sure that the students are basically highlighting themselves and, promoting their personal brand, whatever that is, and helping them to put their best face forward. So we work on them with their resumes. We also work on them, work on doing mock interviews. So we want to make sure that students not only, look good on paper, but actually, sound good in real life. Not everyone is blessed in doing interviews. It's not the easiest thing to do. So a lot of us, maybe we're used to talking to each other. We're used to talking up front with people. That's not a problem for us. That's just part of our everyday world. But students are really nervous. And I see that a lot more students who are the younger ones, who aren't used to that in-person, conversation, who maybe are more confident, online, are more confident, behind that computer versus in-person conversations, they really struggle. Danielle is one of the younger ones, but she doesn't really struggle as far as, in-person conversations. I'll give her that. We can have a conversation for a very long time. So that's good, but not all of them are, and they just don't have that confidence. So sometimes you just have to basically be their cheerleader and let them know that, yes, that's okay. Or it's okay to say that in an interview, like it's okay to maybe put that forward, because that little story that you just told would hook me and make me want to hire you. And, sometimes I think it's just finding out, what is right and what is wrong in terms of what that looks like. So that's what, that's a lot of what we do. We have a lot of services too. So like in terms of job leads, we make sure that students know about those jobs. And, that could be from, your businesses or any of the other businesses in town, but also a lot of others that we don't know about. We're not, because of where we sit, Marion is our centralized area, but we go far and wide, especially if we can. So I know that we have a lot of students in various areas. So whatever job I can get to a student, I like to make those connections. That's my favorite part, I think, is when
We lost her.
Is that me? I was going to say, is that me or you folks? I did want to ask her, maybe some while we're waiting for her to reconnect. This question is more for Michael or Danielle, in terms of making sure that everyone's aware of the job openings that are here locally with us. Talk about maybe your partnership with Job and Family Services and others, or how do we make sure that everyone stays connected in that sense?
Great question. I will toss that back to Kristi, but before we do, if others on the call want to drop their video, bottom left control, do a stop video. That might help with the traffic. So Kristi, go ahead. We have you back.
What was the question again? I heard just the very end of it.
Sure. No, it's just on that, making sure that what's the relationship like with Job and Family Services to make sure you folks are aware of all the opportunities, or making sure the students are aware of opportunities that are here locally, or and make sure that everyone's being connected, I guess, with the opportunities out there.
I would say it's a fairly good one. I know that it's going to get really strong here in a minute because we are going to do we do it every year. It's the Marion Area Job Fair. So that is Marion Technical College, OSU Marion, and then Marion, it's Ohio Means Jobs. I want to default to that Job and Family Services. So it will be all of us together. This year it will be virtual. So that is a challenge that, we get to navigate, and that will be fun. But we kind of keep up on things. Annette Walton is our main contact. So Annette Walton is one who I talk to a lot as far as what is going on, what are the needs, what is she seeing on her end, what am I seeing? Annette Walton is a Marion Tech alum, so that really helps too. And, her brother works here, so we kind of, we've got her in our pocket, so to speak, but I appreciate that. She's wonderful to work with, and I really appreciate being able to do that. I think it helps for various places to kind of give their take on what's going on, because a lot of us, I think, are seeing some of the same things, but it might look differently from the college perspective versus the Ohio Means Jobs perspective. But that's all good. And speaking of job leads, actually, what we do, job leads come to us through various means. Right now, it's mostly email. So Danielle and I will maybe get those jobs. And what we do, because of COVID-19, we have a job board here on campus. So students walk by it all the time. However, students aren't walking around as much these days. We don't have as many students on campus. So we actually created a course. It's a course, but not a course of sorts. So what it is an internal, basically, portal that we use for students. And they can, we send out job things all the time. So Matt, you said I have sharing possibly on my screen.
You do, you should.
Okay. Now which screen is it going to show? I don't know. We're about to find out. Okay. Let's see what comes up. Okay. So let me get to the piece that I want to get to. So, I teach career readiness. So these are some of the things that I have. So some of the things that students are learning is how to create a resume. In our career readiness course, they give me the initial one, then, I correct it, we do it again, and then they have a final. So we're coming to the end of that right now. It's just an 8-week course. It's not a 16-weeker. So that's one of the things that they do. They also create a LinkedIn profile. They're learning, what their power skills are. So things like, give me an example of how you use communication, whether that be at work, whether that be in sports, whether that be, something to do with school, even at church, any of those things. How did you use that skill? Because that could also be an interview question potentially. But for all of the students at Marion Tech, we have a career services course. So basically they learn what we do. They learn about Ohio Means Jobs. We talk about it was Linda, but it's LinkedIn Learning now, so they get a lot of information there. We go through College Central Network, which I'll touch on in a moment. College Central Network even has things for COVID-19. But what we do is we have a virtual job board. So these students can go in, and as I receive them or as they come to, Danielle or whatever, these are the, general, I just need a job. And so they are done by when we receive them. So we just kind of put those out, and this goes to all students. Now, whether they access this, whether they use it or not, I can't control that. However, I'm, like I like to say, I'm leading the horses to water, and the rest. So this just kind of, these jobs come to us from various means. Can be faculty, can be deans, directors, can be, personal contacts. And that way they're getting that information. And then we break it down also by, the programs. So, business, sometimes they're in both places, but that way my people who are strictly for business are getting that. My people who are strictly for engineering, they're getting that. And so we're making sure we're hitting those internship placements, we're hitting those jobs so that we can make sure that we're doing it for all of our students. Generally, these guys don't have a problem. My health people don't have a problem, but again, if something comes to me, I want to make sure I'm getting that out to all the students. Another source that we use is College Central Network. So College Central Network is something that students can use, employers can use, alumni can use. People can post their jobs both to CCN as well as shoot me or Danielle an email. That way we're getting it to everyone. And I would, that's the way I prefer people do it. Not everyone likes to sign up for College Central Network, but it really does help the employer, I think, because then it also gets you to a larger group, because through College Central Network, we're part of a consortium. So that's hitting a lot of your community and technical colleges, not just Marion Tech. However, this is my screen, so this is kind of what I can see. They have podcasts that they can get into. There's an app they can use. They even talk about COVID readiness. So, as far as, Career Corner, if students want to, look their best in virtual meetings, here is an entire document just dedicated to that. So if you don't know anything about how to do a virtual interview, if you don't, if they don't contact our office, they can at least get the information this way. And so I appreciate that. This is what students or employers see. So they can kind of take it, this is a basic framework of what that looks like, and then they can go on their own. If a student wants to sign up, what I do is I bulk upload their information at the beginning of the semester. So all students are pre-registered, they just have to activate that account. So this is the initial screen of what they see. So, they activate their account and then they're off and running, and they can, they can create a resume in there, they can create a career portfolio. They can add all kinds of things, pictures, videos, anything that they need to sell themselves. But maybe they're new to Marion Tech and they don't know what that looks like, so they can see pictures. These are some of our, our past ambassadors, but, they're in there. There's Bob and Annette and Tammy Galloway. So we have pictures from the Alumni Hall of Fame. That was when we did the 80s popcorn parade. As you can tell, they don't normally look like that. That's our MTC Engineering Club with our dear Danielle right in there. And there is El Presidente grilling up when we are allowed to meet in person, and we have our staff picnic, so they can kind of get to see what MTC is about. But yeah, this is where they would initially, sign in, and then they're kind of off and running as far as what they can do as students. And, they can always contact Danielle or I. We also help with career exploration. So whatever they want to use, as far as career exploration, we can do that. We can help them find those. Sometimes students have issues with interview clothing. We will help them get that as well. So we want students to be well prepared, whatever that looks like. And if there's something that, possibly we don't have that, we will do our best to make sure that they get that. So I think that's
I had a
about
question,
all.
Kristi.
Yeah.
Back to the career, I always forget the name, College Central Network. So on our website, we posted all the different places that we hope employers will look at in terms of where to post positions. And one of them was the College Central Network. However, we had special instructions on there, and I just wanted to check to make sure this is still viable. But at the time we put that on there, it was having folks who want to post on College Central Network go through MTC and reach out maybe even specifically to you to post the position, and then that would waive the fees or any fees assigned or associated with that posting if they go through MTC versus trying to do it themselves. Is that still available?
Yeah, there was, I actually had an employer had that issue. I think they tried to go through the main College Central and that does charge, but no, it's free to employers, you know, so ours is collegecentral.com/MTC. And as long as they use that, there should be no problem. But yeah, I was unaware of that. I've just been in this position, you know, in January, so hasn't been the best year to kick off in a new job, but you know, I'm doing the best I can. But yeah, so there should be no charge for that. And if so, then, you know, I think it's just a matter of navigating directly to our page versus the main College Central page.
Excellent. I'm glad. I just want to make sure I covered that as a continuing resource to partner with you folks to do any postings like that.
Oh yeah, and if
Awesome.
they have any job leads, I would say direct to both, just because that way we can get that information out, and that's the best way of doing it. And you know, a lot of times I'll see, you know, emails come through, hey, I just saw that, can you help me? Yes, I sure can. You know, so we're helping them get along as well.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, I think that means that takes us to Danielle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Hi. As they have said, I am the Workforce Solution and Career Services Assistant at Marion Technical College. So I kind of help both departments. And I'm giving an update on the Forge. If you don't know what the Forge is, it's annual free business classes every year with a Shark Tank style competition at the end where startup businesses or small businesses can earn startup money. And this started with the Leadership Marion class at the Chamber. And then it was 4 years ago, correct? Yeah. And then transitioned to now it's under Marion Tech. So we had that. The competition was last month, correct? And I was just gonna talk about some of the contestants who got to compete for the startup money and who won. So for the for-profit side, we have two prize pools, and one is for the for-profit side and one is for nonprofit. So for the for-profit side, we have Drake Tulo, who runs Painless Fleet Management, and he won for the for-profit side. The other presenters were Marion, Ohio News Network with Zach Fuller and James Emray with Emray Technologies. And then for the nonprofit side, the winner of that was Brooke Olson with Ability Bending, and Tammy Brammer with Marion Midget Football, and Tyler Butler with Paradise Nature Center. So that's my update for the Forge.
Yeah, and I'll jump in there and say if anybody wants some comedic relief or likes to watch people who are in pain, go to go to Marion Tech's Facebook page, and you can watch the it's probably an hour and 15 minutes. The competition, of course, we did via Zoom. I recorded it, and you'll be smart to fast forward from I think it's the 10-minute mark to the 20-minute mark where I'm struggling.
It all worked out.
It all worked out, and it was great. It was a fantastic event, and given everything that's going on, you guys put on a great show and did an awesome competition, and I was just really happy with the number of folks that we had at part of the Forge this year, and some of the awesome projects that came out of it. I think I'm sure it was a very tough judging process too, especially for the for-profit side. There's some really good stuff that was in a really good place, I guess, with how, in terms of how far they were along with their businesses project plans. So that was really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very close. And actually, I think it's ironic that since we're on the Manufacturing Council meeting, both the winner of the for-profit and the winner of the nonprofit have kind of a tie-in to you folks. Anyone who would be looking for someone to come to your location and perform maintenance on your trucks, really any vehicle, Drake is definitely a good fit. He had quite a few years of being a regular mechanic at a location, and of course came up with this idea to take it to, right to where you park your trucks overnight and service them overnight. So that's cool. And Ability Vending has the ability to bring a vending machine to you, and they have folks with special needs, for example, someone with autism, and of course Brooke did an awesome job presenting on this subject. I forget the exact number, but we'll say, like 60% of folks with autism are not employed, and mentioned, of course, that most people, yeah, it's higher. Most people get their self-esteem from what they do for a living. And so how huge it is to give them something productive to do. And so that was awesome. Transitioning, thank you, Danielle, for that. Transitioning over to our last subject, which is the Maiden Marion Expo. So you'll remember last year, of course, we had an in-person expo at the Coliseum. And of course, this year there was no chance of that. So we decided, the committee, there's about, 22 people probably on that committee. And I would like to encourage, since I have an audience, a captive audience, anyone in the manufacturing, if you have anything to do with manufacturing whatsoever, we would love for you to volunteer to be on that board, because we really, the heart of it, of course, is to educate the public and especially students on what manufacturing we have right here in Marion County. And so we need as many manufacturers as we can get on that committee to help steer, what story you want to tell these students. And so we're obviously hoping next October we'll be in person again. Who knows, of course, but so that's where I'm gonna show you what we came up with this year. So it's www.maidenmarian.org, and I am going to share my screen and show you a video that Marion Technical College came up with. I'm going to, can you see that video now, Matt? Is that, oh no, I have to share.
Yeah, I just shared first, yeah.
Can you see that now?
It looks like it's ready to go as you play
Okay.
it.
Yep, so this is Marion Technical College's video that we came up with. I'm actually gonna play the first 5 minutes of it, so you're not gonna hear from either Matt or I for about 5 minutes. A little bit of comedic relief here at the beginning of it, and a little informational toward the end.
Welcome to the mobile lab. Come on in.
So this is 20 questions with Marion Technical College, and this is Danielle Lambright. And tell us about.
Okay, let's do that again. It's Smith.
We're here with Danielle Smith from Marion Technical College. Tell us the name of your business and where you're located.
So we are Marion Technical College. More specifically, we're in the mobile lab at Marion Technical College, and we're located on the east side of Marion, across from Walmart.
And what role do you play in manufacturing?
So Marion Tech plays a pretty unique role in manufacturing with their various degrees, but also I work in Workforce Solutions, which also plays a unique role because we do custom training and testing for manufacturing.
And what types of jobs are available at Marion Tech?
There's lots of different jobs available at Marion Tech. You could be anything from a student worker while you're a student here, all the way up to the president of the college and anything in between.
And what degree or training do you need for the various levels of jobs at Marion Tech?
So a student worker, you don't need a degree, you just need to be a student here. And then we hire staff with associate's degrees. There's plenty of people with bachelor's and master's and even doctorates.
And what's the pay range at Marion Tech?
The pay range starts at a student worker, which is minimum wage, and then goes anything in between up to the president of the college. So there's a large pay range there.
What are 3 essential skills that are important in your job?
Organization skills, time management, and being a people person.
And what's the biggest reason that you might have to let an employee go?
The biggest reason we would probably let an employee go is probably for attendance. It's important to show up to work on time and when you're scheduled to work. Obviously, we understand that things happen. Everybody has a life and goes through things, but that's what like sick time and vacation time is for. But any excessive absences would be unnecessary.
And how many employees does Marion Tech have?
Over 100 employees.
And what is the Maiden and Marion Expo to you?
So the Maiden Marion Expo is, I think, an important highlight in our community because you really get to learn what the local manufacturing businesses do and those who support manufacturing here in Marion. It's important to realize that products that are made here in Marion go all over the world, and we really have an impact on the whole world.
So we're continuing our tour of the mobile lab, and here we have instructor Jeremy Fryman and student and employee Brianna Napper. And tell us about yourselves.
Go ahead.
Oh, so my name is Brianna Napper. I'm a student ambassador on campus, and I work in the admissions and financial aid department doing sensitive data processing. I'm really grateful to be here. I have loved my time at Marion Tech and continuing my education for my career center. I chose the Ramp Tech program out at Tri-Rivers Career Center in Marion, Ohio, and I'm really grateful to be here. I really love all of the staff and meeting fellow students who are really passionate about STEM, and especially meeting women in STEM. That's something that I really enjoy about Marion Technical College.
Well, I'm Jeremy Fryman. I've been at Marion Technical College since 2008. I teach a variety of courses ranging from business to technology to engineering. One of the things we'll be working on today is our Haas Mobile Lab mini mill. How and why did you end up in a STEM career?
Well, how I got into STEM education, just to begin with, was I did the little VEX camps that they used to have when I was in middle school around 2012, 2013 time at Ramtech at the Tri-Rivers Career Center, and they were just really fun, a couple-day camps, and you got to meet a whole bunch of people across Marion and then the surrounding counties. And we took a tour of Ramtech, and I was like, oh, this is it. So then when I got into middle school, my 8th grade year, I had a couple of friends who were on the VEX team, and VEX is an international competition that you can buy kids, and you compete local competitions statewide, and if you're really good and you qualify, you can even compete for the United States of America in the World's Championship. So I did that all throughout high school, and I had a really fun time. I also did the National Robotics Challenge, which is home in Marion, Ohio, and it is now an international robotics challenge with other countries coming here to the United States to compete in Marion, Ohio. So I kind of got into that, and then I was like, I really want to go to Tri-Rivers. I went to Tri-Rivers for the Ramtech Engineering Technologies program. I graduated in 2018 as valedictorian of my Tri-Rivers Career Center full-time class. I'm very proud of that, and because of my ranking at my Career Center, I got a scholarship to attend Marion Technical College. I had absolutely no plans on going to college, and because of Tri-Rivers is the sole reason why I went to school and got higher education. And then why I chose engineering is it's just because it's something that I really enjoy. I love learning about it. I love helping my friends. I love impacting others around me. It's something that just fascinates me, and I never lose my drive for it. And studying it for the past about 7 years, I think I've pretty much found my niche.
How was the mobile lab schedule?
The mobile lab schedule is pretty flexible. I have done about 2 or 3 trainings out here last winter time with the CNC, and we kind of just chose Fridays or Saturdays, what works for us. Because we're not industry and we're students, we kind of focused on the weekends, but industry can just choose whatever days work for them because obviously they're paying money, so they have a very flexible time range that we can offer here at Marion Tech.
Is the mobile lab limited to engineering and manufacturing training?
It is not. You can do just about any kind of training. So this is a flexible lab. So we have projector systems, sound systems, and then one of the walls in here is an entire whiteboard. But this lab does get mostly used for engineering and technical training, but it does have potential for higher use.
What is a CNC?
So a CNC basically stands for a computer numerical control. That is why it's called a CNC, but CNC is a little bit easier to just say. So what it does, everybody knows what a 3D printer is. So you're using material and you're building an item. So a CNC kind of does the exact opposite. You have a big chunk of material and then you're taking away little bits and pieces to make a product. So it's kind of the exact opposite is the best way I can describe it. The CNC that we have here uses a PLC, which is a programmable logic controller. And that is just a fancy word for a programming interface. The one that we have here kind of looks like a giant iPad with like a keyboard underneath it. So the user interface is a little bit easier to use, especially for training purposes. You have the actual cutting part that's within its own work cell with a lot of safety features on it. So that way the user and anyone around you is super safe. And then you have the PLC user interface outside of the work cell. So that way you can go about programming any sort of errors and anything like that.
Okay, so I paused it there. We're a little over halfway through that video. And anybody that would want to watch the entire 13 minutes, I encourage you to go to maidenmarian.org. And so you can still see my screen, correct, Matt?
Yes, we can, yep.
Great, okay. So again, the purpose of this website is to educate 7th and 9th grade students in Marion County. So our video was, we tried to gear it toward someone of that age group. And we asked all of the manufacturers that I had contact information for to give us content for this website that we created. A huge shout out to Tad Dowse, who is at River Valley Schools, and Lauren Spielman, who is now a college student, for creating this website. And so I'm just going to show you around a little bit. Obviously, under the tab Marion Manufacturing, you have folks that we either found content on or we did receive something directly from them. So I'll throw this out there right now that if anybody does not see their name on here and wants content on this website, email me. It's augustinem@mtc.edu. I'm sure that Matt will include that. But again, it's augustinem@mtc.edu. And we would love to get additional content on here. This, of course, was for teachers to use for Manufacturing Month, which is October. But really, they can come here any time of year. I guess that's one blessing in this pandemic is that we now have this tool that teachers can come to anytime. Whereas the expo last year, of course, you had to be there on a specific day to meet with the manufacturers. So from a teacher standpoint, this might be a little better tool to have that they didn't have before. So again, if you want to see your content on here, let me know. Yeah, that's kind of the website. Definitely encourage you to come check it out. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So the heart of the videos that folks made was that we were gearing it again toward 7th and 9th grade students to give them an idea of what is out there for manufacturing jobs in Marion County. And I think this is a great time to reach kids, is those two grades. You all know how difficult it is to hire folks, and we have 1,400 students between those two grades, 7th and 9th grades, that we can tell a story to. So again, I would encourage anyone that might want to get their content on here, reach out to me. We just wanted a brief description of the company and then a short video. To be quite honest with you, we went a little too long with our Marion Tech video. We were really shooting for about a 5-minute video, and you'll notice that if you go to maidenmarian.org, you'll see that they're about that length. The last thing I kind of wanted to throw out there was the Maiden Marion Expo can sometimes be confused with Marion Made. And as you could tell in our video, it was a bit of a tongue twister for me. So while they are on the committee, this is kind of an independent project that really takes everyone who's on that committee to put that together. And so there's a lot of folks that were huge in putting on the expo at the Coliseum that, because it wasn't at the Coliseum, you know, their part really, their story wasn't told as well. So some folks, I think they got more publicity from the online version. Yeah, so any questions, Matt? You have any questions about the expo?
Well, I just, again, thank you very much to everyone at MTC for presenting today and all that you folks are doing to get our students ready for the workforce and working closely with the local manufacturers here to make sure that the programs are tailored to kind of what their needs are. Back to the Maiden Marion, I would encourage you folks to maybe put together a video to showcase, because as you heard in that video, this person was inspired by the experiences that she had while, you know, early on, and when she had absolutely no interest in maybe going on to a higher ed or getting anything like a degree in engineering, and then had these experiences, and then her eyes were open to that track. So I think it just, again, speaks to the putting yourself out there. Now, if you had gone to that website, there is a section, there's a drop down that we've been working with TAD to list out every single manufacturer here in Marion County. So if you were to go there, there's a really good chance, if you're listening to this, that your name, your company name would at least be on that. But to flesh it out more, that's when you'd want to reach out to Mike. And yes, to his point, I will be sharing his contact information with everyone on this who's watching this recording as well after this call, to make sure that you can get in touch with them to flesh that out. And in the videos, range, it doesn't, you don't need to bring in a professional videographer to do these videos, to walk through your location and just go through some questions. I think they provide you the exact stock questions of what to answer in your video in order to create a video that they're looking for. So you don't have to make any of this from scratch. That they have some great resources available for you. But in a way, the pandemic has created an ongoing resource that's available throughout the year to our students and teachers and parents to learn more about manufacturing in this area. So there is some good things to come out of all this, I guess. But again, thank you very much for putting that together, and shout out again to TAD and others who worked on that.
Yeah, and thank you again for bringing up, obviously we're very proud of our students. We have literally dozens of students that are in a major that would have something to do with manufacturing. Reach out to Kristi Butler if you need people. And yeah, so thank you for letting us present. And again, if anyone has any questions for us, reach out. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
I stole my lines.
Mike, I have a question.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, downtown, about the only place for large groups to meet, 50 or more, is the Prospect Room. Is your town location going to be set up where if somebody, had 100 or 200 people coming into town?
Great question, Gus. Thank you for asking that.
You owe me $10 for that.
Got it. Let me write that down. Due to social distancing, I think 20 would be our max in our biggest classroom there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we get back to normal, so.
Yeah, the biggest classroom, I haven't taken a tape measure to it, and we haven't laid it out yet. I'm actually glad you asked that question, not just from that standpoint. No, I can't hold a crowd that big and have them seated. But I'm glad you asked that question, because there will be opportunities for a lot of meetings there. We're going to host the Forge from there. We're going to have our instructor, Scott Hughes, there a couple hours a week to meet with folks who might be wanting to start a business. It's an innovation center is what we're calling it. So we're going to have Michelina Lacey there a few hours a month. And that's what we're really, we've got a lot of focuses, but one of them certainly is creating businesses. So yeah, there will definitely be meetings there, Gus. I look forward to them. And we can even, during the pandemic, plenty of room to spread out for, like I said, under 20 people.
And Chris, I have a question for you. One of the major complaints about Ohio Means Jobs is if you put your resume on Ohio Means Jobs, you'll get dozens of calls from like insurance agents looking for, you know, people to go out and sell insurance. Do you guys vet the employers that post jobs?
On College Central Network, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're actually really good about that. They come through, because it's so large, they actually have like fraud alerts on certain ones, because apparently that's a thing that people do, and I had no idea. But I think it's about accessing the information, perhaps. So they put out fraud alerts, and sometimes I let them sit. What I like to do, just because I like to have that personal connection, is I will reach out with the email they provide, and when it bounces back to me, that's my indication that it's, you know, kind of not a good email, or at least when I don't hear a response. But I like to reach out and say, hey, you know, just saw that you were registered on here, just want to reach out in case you had any questions. So I kind of do my own internal investigation as well.
We got a thumbs up.
It's adorable.
To piggyback on the locations, yes, Prospect Room is excellent. The Chambers conference rooms are excellent. The ballroom at the Harding Center, the Brickyard, and very happy to have even more spaces available downtown for meetings, meeting spaces for the community. Library, but there's some, it's always great to have more and more spaces available to folks. So with that,
Yes.
yeah, I think thank you again to MTC, and yes, like Mike was saying, I hope everyone has safe and happy holidays. And gosh, we will see all of our manufacturers back in the new year, 2021, January. Probably, I think it's the second Monday in January is I think where we have it scheduled for. But obviously, you'll see those notifications as we get closer. Thank you again, and hope everyone stays safe and has a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
See ya, everybody.